Welcome back to Harmonize Your Life podcast, conversations on self-care for women of color with your host, Dr. Toni Alvarado. Remember, this podcast is designed to offer support, encouragement, accountability, education, information, inspirations, and strategies for developing and maintaining a lifestyle of self-care, harmony, peace, and wellness. And this month, we are so excited to have so many dynamic women to be on our podcast who will come on to help us and to encourage us. Some of God's best are going to be with us this month. Some of the most prolific women that I know I've invited to be a part of our conversation this month, in the month of March, because this is Women's History Month. And so we are delighted to have so many wonderful women on our podcast this month. Well, my guest for tonight is a woman that I have admired from afar for many years. And in recent years, I've gotten to know her up close and a little bit more intimately as we have shared in other arenas, in other conferences, and seeing her around the country. And it's just delightful for me to have her with us on tonight. You know, sometimes when you see people on big stages and you look at them on big stages, you know, they're like larger than life. And when you meet them in person, you wonder if they're going to be down to earth, if they're going to be real women, real girls. And then sometimes when you meet them, you're kind of disappointed. You wish you would have left them on the stage, but not so with our guest for tonight. I want you to get ready, buckle your seat, get ready, get back, get you a cup of coffee, get you a cup of tea, relax. If you're driving into work, don't relax too much. Pay attention to the traffic. But I want you to be delighted with our guest on tonight. I know you're going to be delighted with her. Bishop Vashti Murphy McKenzie is our guest for this segment of Harmonize Your Life, conversations on self-care for women of color. I just want to read a little bit of her bio before we get into our conversation. Bishop Vashti Murphy McKenzie serves as the 117th elected and consecrated bishop of the African Methodist Episcopal Church, the A.M.E. Church. Her historic election in the year 2000 represents the first time in over 200-year history of the A.M.E. Church a woman had obtained the level of Episcopal office. The first continues as she served as the first woman president of the Council of Bishops, chair of the General Conference Commission, and was the first woman host bishop for the 49th session of the General Conference of the A.M.E. Church in June 2012, with more than 30,000 in attendance. Her husband, Dr. Stanley McKenzie, serves with her as Episcopal supervisor. Currently, she is honored to serve as the presiding prelate of the 10th District, Episcopal District, where she provides leadership to all of the A.M.E. churches in the entire state of Texas. She exercises ministry and administrative responsibilities for over 200 churches. Bishop McKenzie was appointed by President Barack Obama to serve on the inaugural President's Advisory Council of the White House Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships during his administration. She was also invited to preach at the annual White House Easter Prayer Breakfast at the invitation of President Obama. Bishop McKenzie is the author of 5 books. The first 2, Not Without a Struggle and Strength in the Struggle, are concerned with leadership and professional growth for women. Journey to the Well helps women seek new directions for personal growth and transformation following the footsteps of the biblical Samaritan woman. Her book, Swapping Housewives, that sounds interesting, tells the stories of Rachel, Jacob, and Leah and shares the 21st century implications for married and unmarried love. I got to get that one, Bishop McKenzie. I have all the others. A revised, updated version of the Not Without a Struggle was released in 2012 and 2013. Her newest book, Those Sisters Can Preach, was released. It includes 22 sermons as pearls of wisdom from nationally known preachers who happen to be women. Bishop McKenzie is well known as an electrifying preacher, and she's been honored for her leadership, community service, outstanding achievements, and a number of diverse civic, educational, business, and governmental organizations and leaders. She was named in 2015 by Huffington Post as one of the 50 most powerful women religious leaders in the world. I am honored to know her. I'm honored to get to meet her. As I said earlier, I followed her work. I actually wrote about Bishop McKenzie in my THM thesis, The Empowerment Tradition of African American Women Preachers from the 19th and 20th century. And it was that work where I became intrigued with her ministry and drew parallels between Sojourner Truth, 19th century preacher, and Dr. Susie Owens of Greater Mount Calvary Holy Church, and Jarena Lee, 19th century preacher and first preacher in the African American Episcopal Church. And I paralleled her with the life and ministry of our guest tonight, Bishop Vashti McKenzie. And I am so delighted to have her with us tonight. So, Bishop McKenzie, let me frame our conversation by stating that this podcast is about self-care, and I really want those who are listening to walk away with an understanding of why, what you do, and how you manage your self-care, and why women should invest in their self-care. You have some very interesting things coming up that we're going to say something about in a few minutes, and I want you to talk about why it's important for us to invest in our self-care. So first of all, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. And this is an exciting venture. I'm so glad that you have this podcast and that you're making it available for women to hear. We learn together, of course. This is a shared learning experience. And so we learn from each other. And I'm excited because this is a very important topic. For many women, it's a matter of life and death.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I have to confess. Can we have true confession?
Yes. Let's have real talk. Real talk.
Yeah, real talk is I haven't always done it right. I haven't always done the self-care process right because we're a product of our upbringing, and I come from a family of on-target, focused, fierce, high-powered women who were pioneers in their careers and took care of their homes. So I grew up like, you can be gone all day and, 9 to 5 or 9 to 8 or 9 to whatever, or 8 to 6, but you came home and you took care of your house. Nobody took care of your house but your house.
Right.
No one took care of your kids but your kids. Nobody took care of your husband but you.
Right.
And so you were burning the candles at both ends. So as I was coming along, it's sort of like, okay, how do you find balance? How do you find balance? How do you find balance? So you wake up one day and say, there is no such thing.
Yes,
there
exactly.
There is no such thing as balance.
It isn't.
And so for years, books have been written, conferences have been on the balance between your work and your personal life. And it took a woman, Ella Mitchell. She's transitioned, gone home to be with the Lord.
I know Dr. Mitchell.
She was, we call her the dean of preaching women because she started preaching long time ago.
Yes, ma'am.
When preaching could cost you your life, your reputation, and everything else that goes along with it. And I went to her one day. I said, you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a preacher. How do you balance? And she said, there's no such thing as balance. I go like, what? And she says, it's prioritizing.
Wow.
It's not about balancing. It's about prioritizing. And I said, okay, what does that look like in real terms? Yeah. And she says, you have to decide what you and only you can do. What is most important?
Exactly.
And then decide what things other people can do to help you. And then decide on how you're going to take care of you. Because if you're not there, all this stuff you're trying to do is not going to exist.
Exactly.
period.
Exactly.
It goes back to put your oxygen mask on first before
Uh-huh.
helping someone else.
Exactly.
Because if you're not breathing, you're not going to be able to help anybody else. So I devised what I call the 4D method.
Mm-hmm.
The 4D method that helped me, and I shared with other women, and maybe it'll help you
Okay.
and help the listeners today. So this
Okay.
is my 4D method.
Okay.
The first one is decide.
Decide.
Really decide what needs to be done. That's the first D.
Mm-hmm.
Decide.
Mm-hmm.
What needs to be done? What are the priorities? It's the old proverb, take that white sheet of paper and you write down what really is important, what is primary, what is secondary,
Mm-hmm.
what's tertiary. These things are important. And then recognize that number one priority and make it a priority.
Exactly.
You can say it's a priority, but if it doesn't show up in your timeline on a regular basis, then you just fooling yourself. You just lied to yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Bishop,
about how important
this
it
is
is.
so important.
Mm-hmm.
This is so important. Before you go on to your next one, I just want to interject real quickly here. I agree with you totally and wholeheartedly. In my book, Harmonize Your Life, that's my whole premise. That balance is not realistic. It does not exist. And so I opted for the
Mm-hmm.
word harmony over balance because it really is. It's a moving target, and it's something that is
Yeah.
hard to. Well, you can't. It's hard to obtain, and it's almost impossible to maintain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, make that decision, figure out what is best for you, what is most important to you, and stop apologizing.
I love it. I love it.
Well,
Decide.
you
Yes.
see, I'm so sorry, but, my kids come first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, let me apologize. I know how you feel, but my spouse comes first.
Uh-huh.
My boo is number one.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because really, of all the things that are important, nobody can do him but you. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
you
Exactly.
don't you don't pass him off for somebody else to take care of.
Exactly. Exactly.
And your kids, are your greatest investment because they will live longer than your career.
Wow. Say
They
that
will
again.
outlast
Say
your
that.
career.
Your
Your
kids will live
children
longer.
will live longer than your career.
Oh my God,
So
that's so good.
when the spotlight is on somebody else, when you retire from whatever you are doing, when you go to your third act, when you are no longer working and you are figuring out what you're going to do, where, your kids are going to be alive and well and a reflection of you.
Wow.
And then there'll be the grandkids,
Mm-hmm.
your grandkids, they'll be there. And
Wow.
so making the people who live longer than your career a priority is a necessity.
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, when they put your obituary up, they'll talk about who, what you did,
Exactly.
but at the end of it, they'll say, and they are survived by.
Oh, wow. Wow.
A, B, C, D, and E.
Wow.
And so make the people a priority. I remember, because the example, the role models before me, were high-powered, working 24/7 women.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked right into that path too. Like I said, I didn't always get it right.
Okay.
But I think for me, the breaking point was after I was elected a bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Howard University invited me to do the convocation. I'm a graduate of Howard, so they wanted to honor their alumni. And my daughter was a student at Howard at the time. And they said, instead of, the president or whoever, or the dean to introduce you, we're going to ask your daughter to introduce you. And she stood up and she presented me, all the things that you have in your, your bio and all that kind of stuff. And then she says, but let me tell you about my mother. No matter what she's done and where she's been and where she's gone, she never missed a play.
Wow.
She never missed a dance recital.
Wow.
She never missed a birthday.
Wow.
She was always there for us. Of course, I was undone. I was like, this is my baby.
And that's your greatest accomplishment, with all the other
I'm
things you've
telling you,
done. That right
I
there.
was I was through. I
Hmm.
said, I can't, and now, after the next song, I said, it's going to take two songs for this, okay?
Oh my
It's
God.
going to take two songs to get me back together.
Oh my
I
God.
was thoroughly undone because you don't know whether your kids pay attention, to what you do. So you really have to decide what is important, what's going to live beyond the spotlight,
Okay.
and make your investment.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
the second D
Hmm.
is delay.
Delay. Okay.
Does it really have to be done now?
Wow. 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 I hope you all are
It's
listening. I hope you're listening. Go ahead. Does
you
it
know,
really have to
do
be
you
done now?
have does it have to be done right now? Everything is urgent. You have
Hmm.
to do this, you have to do this,
Hmm.
you have to do this, you have to do
Hmm.
this, you have to do this. One of the things that my husband, he is still, I'm still new in technology.
Hmm.
I'm a
Hmm.
untech techie, if you
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
can navigate technology. I'm in
Hmm.
social media. It's not a toy for me. It's a tool, the whole nine yards. And my husband is right behind me. And so
Hmm.
he has his notifications on. I mute my notifications. I don't
Uh-huh.
have, my email doesn't notify me. My social media stuff doesn't notify me. But his does. And as soon as it goes off, he's got to answer it. I'm going like, you don't have, it'll be there
Uh-huh.
when
Uh-huh.
you're ready for it.
Hmm.
If you let those notifications
Hmm.
drive your
Hmm.
life, you would never get done the things that are important.
Exactly. It's so true. It's so true. And we're so hooked on it today. I mean, people, they can't, I mean, I told someone I was teaching a workshop. I was in the first district a couple of weeks ago with Supervisor Jessica Ingram, Dr. Ingram, and she had me
Mm-hmm.
doing a workshop on self-care for the women. And I said to them in the session in my workshop, and we got a good laugh out of it, but it was true. I said, we can leave anything at home and drive to work, but if we leave that phone, we're going back home to get that phone. We'll leave our
Absolutely.
medicine and just say, well, I'll take it when I get home. But if we leave our phone, we're turning around, and it just shows
Absolutely.
how we are so hooked in our society to our phones, our tablets, and all that stuff, and notifications, and all those things, and it keeps us being driven instead of being led.
There you go. So what you want to put yourself in is the position where you make a decision on the distraction
Exactly.
rather than the distraction making a decision for you. So figure out what's going to work best for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, morning emails or afternoon emails.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, morning emails or afternoon emails, morning social media, afternoon social
Mm-hmm.
media.
Mm-hmm.
What works best for you? Lunchtime emails, lunchtime, whatever. And so
Okay.
people will say like,
Mm-hmm.
I emailed you. I said, when did you email me? Oh, around 11. I said, I do emails at 6 in the morning when I first
Mm-hmm.
wake up.
Mm-hmm.
After
Mm-hmm.
my devotional time,
Mm-hmm.
I take a look at what happened overnight. I may not get back
I
until
hear you.
later on in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe. Maybe. Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so you set your time. Most of the time I do social media in the morning, and that's it. I don't do anything at night.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
instead of allowing it to control you, you are the manager of it. It's not
Yes.
alive. You
Mm-hmm.
are.
Mm-hmm. I like
And
that.
if you're
You
not,
you said make the decision on the distraction. You said rather than the distraction making the decision, you make the decision on the
absolutely.
distraction. Okay, I like that. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So does this email have to be returned now? Do you have to go to the cleaners today, or can it go tomorrow? Do
Mm-hmm.
you really need to do your nails today?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Do you really have to have the meeting at this time,
Mm-hmm.
or have the meeting at a time that's beneficial for you?
Mm-hmm.
There's no
Mm-hmm.
point in trying to schedule a meeting with 20 people when you are tired, you're frazzled, you can't think. It will be the 10th
Yes.
meeting in the row.
Yes.
Uh, the 10th meeting in 10 days, and you're really not at your best. You're not
Mm-hmm.
thinking your
Mm-hmm.
best. You're not
Mm-hmm.
doing your best. hey guys, can we have this meeting next week?
Exactly.
Next week.
Exactly.
So it takes planning. It takes
Mm-hmm.
planning. Take a
Mm-hmm.
look at the calendar and figure out the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Then the third D is delegate.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to do it?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Do
Mm-hmm.
you have to do it? Now, you remember I said I grew up, where folk take care of everything. Now, I was a grown woman before I understood that somebody else could take care of my house.
Exactly. I remember that. I remember when I got that revelation. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was so freeing. One of my
I'm
coaches said to
telling
me,
you.
you need to get somebody to help you. I'm working on my D-men. I got 3 small kids. Our church, we got 3, 4 services. We're on television and I'm trying to clean this house. And my coach said to me, Toni, get some help. But you know what? It was my pride that wouldn't let me do it. I thought I had to do it.
Absolutely. Because we were raised that way. This is my house. I take care of my house.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Mm-hmm.
and here's the revelation. Nobody really cares who cleans the house. They just want it clean.
Exactly.
Nobody cares who straightens it, just as long as it's straight. Nobody cares how the food gets into the refrigerator, just as long as when I open the door, it's there. Nobody cares how it gets cooked, whether you picked it up from a to-go place and put it in your glass dishes and put it on the table, or whether you labored on it on yourself. Nobody really cares. This is
Oh
when I
my
learned
God.
to let other people in my space to take care of stuff
Mm-hmm.
so that I could be available to my priorities.
Right.
And I learned how, like, if I'm going to make a pot of spaghetti, let's just use spaghetti,
Okay.
or whatever. If I'm going to make a batch of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I make more than I really need
Mm-hmm.
because I'm going to freeze half of it
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
I'm going to put it in the freezer. And I make something else and I put it in the freezer and put it in the freezer. And then on those days when we're rushing, we only got 30 minutes. We got to eat. We got to change clothes. We got to get dressed. Pull that stuff up out of the freezer, put it in the microwave, and hey,
Wow.
we got it.
We got
don't
it.
have to,
We
I
got
don't
it.
have to order a box service that's going to deliver me food or whatever. If I just cook a little more than
Mm-hmm.
what I'm really cooking
Uh-huh.
and set it aside,
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just pop it out when I need to pop it out. So, but also delegation means that, all right, take a deep breath. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. I'm doing it.
All
I'm
right.
taking a deep
All
breath.
right, take a deep breath. Delegation means you have to trust somebody else to do it as good as you.
Oh my goodness. There it is. Mm. Mm.
Okay? Because if, say nobody can do this but me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say nobody can do it as good as me, right? No,
Right.
there's
Right.
somebody else that can do it just as good as you. And if they don't come up to your standard, you have an opportunity to teach, to train, to show, hey, this is really good. Don't insult nobody. This is good. But I really would like this to rise to this level to do it.
Right.
And then you
Right.
have to be willing to work with them
Right.
to get it to your satisfaction.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Develop
So
and
you gotta
train. Yeah.
develop and train and then trust. Come on, Queen Bee.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Trust.
Come
Mm-hmm.
on, Queen Bee.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody else who can do it just as good as you.
And maybe
And then
even
the
better
last,
than you.
and maybe even, and then let it be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh,
Let
girl,
that
you
be
make them
okay.
biscuits better than me. That's fine. I'm happy you make them biscuits better than me.
I know
Just
that's
make
right.
them biscuits, okay?
Exactly. Exactly.
Girl, I love this meeting plan. I like it. You have it organized. The run-up show is perfect. And da-da-da. I didn't have to stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning to do it. You did it in a half hour, girl. I'm happy with you.
Yes,
Love it,
Lord.
love it,
Yes,
love it,
Lord.
love it.
I hear you. I hear
And and just accept it. Now the last D.
you.
Are you ready? You
Mm-hmm.
sure?
I'm ready.
Breathe.
I'm ready.
Breathe.
I'm
Okay.
breathing.
The last D is deny,
Oh, wow.
which means you don't have to do it.
Wow.
Why are you taking on this when it's not in your priority lane? You have no responsibility to do it, but somewhere out of the blue, you decided that this burden was yours.
Set us free,
Really?
Bishop. Set us free. Yes.
No, this is not your burden. This is where you learn how to say no.
Yes. No.
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 No, because saying yes is going to cost you.
Yeah.
Saying yes means that I'm going to show up for you and I'm not going to be able to show up for myself.
Oh, wow. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, this is all
Say that
good.
again,
This is all
please.
good.
Saying yes.
I said to
Mm-hmm.
say yes to you
Mm-hmm.
means I can show up for you, but I won't be able to show up for myself.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
My pastor, like I said, remember, I come from a long line of folks
Mm-hmm.
that work 24/7, da
Mm-hmm.
da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
And my pastor, and you know my
Mm-hmm.
pastor is
Mm-hmm.
now Bishop John Bryant. My pastor said,
Mm-hmm.
McKenzie, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? I said, what, Pastor? Because I knew it was coming, right? Okay, Pastor.
Mm-hmm.
What,
Mm-hmm.
Pastor?
Mm-hmm.
He says, if you keep going like this, all they're going to say is, isn't it a shame? Did you hear what happened to Vashti?
Wow. Wow.
Did you see what happened? Did you
Mm.
see? Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it a shame? And then
Mm-hmm.
they're going to move on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
They're going to move on to the next person. So you have to decide at the end of the day, do you want to, isn't it a shame? Or, wow, she held it together in the
Mm.
appropriate manner.
Yeah.
So I had to learn. I
Yeah.
did. I didn't always get it right. Ellen
Wow.
Mitchell came into my life and said, girl, it's not about balance. It's about setting your priorities.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we worked out the rest.
Yeah.
I got to decide what needs to be done. Does it need to be done now?
Yes.
Do
Yes.
I have to do it?
Yeah.
Or do I really, is this a place where I say no?
Wow. I love it. The 4D model: decide, delay, delegate, and deny. I love it. And I really hope that those that our listeners, my listeners today, I really want you to get this, because this is life saving. What Bishop McKenzie is sharing with us today is life saving. This is what I call harmony. I trumped the word. I trumped the word, no pun on Trump, but I trumped the word balance for harmony many years ago. I decided
Mm-hmm.
that harmony was a better way to live my life than
I love it. I love
balance.
it. I love it.
And so
Mm-hmm.
harmony, decide, delay, delegate, deny. It's so important. And I'm so glad to have women like you, Bishop, who are, you're so accomplished, you're well known, you're renowned. I mean, we look up to you. Those of us who have come into ministry after you. I wrote about you in my THM thesis. I used your work in my D-Min dissertation. I've read your books. I've taught from your textbooks in courses that I've taught in Bible colleges and seminaries. And so to be able to have this intimate conversation with you, I'm blessed, but I'm more blessed to know that you have worked through this in your own life, and you're real about it, how you've worked through it, and that you're able to share that with us, and those that are even coming after me in ministry, so that we don't have to die. We don't have to die doing ministry.
Mm-mm.
We don't have to die.
No.
I heard
And
I heard Dr. Elaine
yeah,
Flake said it's not ministry that's killing us, it's the way we do it.
yeah. And she is correct. And we only know one way to do it, and that's to go in hard.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
one gear shift is to go in hard.
Mm-hmm.
And a part of that is understanding, like, hold
Mm-hmm.
on,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
What is the greater testimony?
Yeah.
The greater testimony is I went hard and died of the vine.
Yeah.
Or the greater testimony is I went hard and I learned how to stop at stopping times.
Yeah.
How to go get a massage.
Mm-hmm.
I have a club. It's an unofficial club.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It's just an unofficial club where when I have these conversations with women one-on-one, or at Selah or at other times, I said, would you want to be a part of my club? There are no meetings, no Zoom, and none of that. Let me tell you, the only requirement of being in the club is to do one fun thing a week.
Oh, wow.
That's
I
it.
love that. One fun
That's
thing a
it.
week. Oh, yes. I'm joining.
One, and it's an unofficial club. And when we see each other or when we talk to each other, we say, all right, tell me what your one fun thing is.
Wow.
That's it.
Do
We
one
become
fun thing a
accountability
week.
partners.
Mm-hmm.
Just one fun thing. And your nails and your hair don't count, okay?
Exactly. Because, that's like work.
Well, I
Hmm.
mean, it's a part of your regular routine,
Yeah,
you know.
but that doesn't count because we need to do some things that, that really sometimes get out the box, have fun, play therapy.
Well, what book are you reading? What movie did you go see?
Yeah. Hmm.
Did you call your girlfriends to go out to lunch? Did you do something that was absolutely idiotic and had absolutely no purpose, no rhyme to reason whatsoever?
Wow. Wow.
Gee, that was dumb. I know it was dumb, but didn't you have fun? Yes, I did.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, did you take a walk in the park? It's summertime. Put your feet in the water.
Wow.
Walk in the sand somewhere.
Wow.
Did you, take your grandkids, your kids, or you just take the neighborhood kids or the kids in the church on the outing
Oh, wow.
and laughed with them? You know what
Wow.
I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
hear
got
you.
two grandchildren now, and much to their parents' chagrin, I introduced them to finger paint.
Oh,
And we
wow.
just got messy together. I had to do it at my house because my music. You ain't bringing that mess in here. I said, I know. Remember that. But we just got messy and paint on our faces, on our
Oh,
hands,
I
and
know
made
that was
images or
fun.
whatever. It's like digging in the dirt for me.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
like to dig in the dirt and
Mhm.
put bulbs and plants and
Mhm.
watch them flowers and all that
Mhm.
kind of stuff. So I'm saying like, come on, sweetheart, I'm putting junk quills in. And my daughter goes, she knows nothing about junk quills. She does not care. I said, but in the spring when they come up, then I can say, look what we planted. Look what it
Mhm.
looks like.
Mhm.
And, that was fun. And we laughed. Sing a song, put your favorite music on and
Yeah.
dance around the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sing, and, I can't
Something
sing, but I'll
fun.
sing to a song in a heartbeat. You know what I mean?
I love your spirit, Bishop. I love it. I'm telling you, every time I'm in your presence, every time I hear you preach, or just around you, I love your spirit. It just exudes with fun and joy. And I want to just transition us to talking about Selah because I'm looking forward to having a fun time at Selah this year. And I want you to talk to us about Selah, the conference that you've started for women. And you know what? One of the things that I love the most about the conference I attended last year in Atlanta, the Atlanta edition, and what I loved about it, being a pastor, being a preacher woman, and what I was so intrigued by was the diversity of women who were there, who were at Selah. And what I mean by diversity, I mean from different walks of life and professions. And so
Hmm.
I really appreciate that because you and I are talking and we're talking about going hard in ministry. But the truth is, whether those our listeners are medical doctors or whether they're in technology or business or home engineers, raising their children at home, we go hard. And so what I loved about Selah was the diversity of women that you brought together in that conference. Can you talk to us a little bit about Selah and what's coming up in the Atlanta edition?
Absolutely. Excited about Selah. Selah is a Hebrew word that means pause, stop,
Mm-hmm.
and stop here before moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to create a safe place, a safe space where women from all walks of life can come together and pause and stop and reflect. It is a place where we push the rewind button.
Mm.
So the rewind means what just happened? What was that? And we don't take time to do that. It's a pause. Let's breathe. Let's breathe deeply, and then let's hear from other women.
Okay.
Let's hear their stories. Let's hear
Mm-hmm.
their walk. Let's hear their expertise.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, because we can sow seeds into each other. Let's
Mm-hmm.
take a look. How can I help you develop your gift, and how can you help me?
Mm-hmm.
Who do I need to meet, and
Mm-hmm.
who is out there who could do that? And that's what Sayla is about. So when I go to a church women's conference, I'm talking to church women.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to a lawyers conference, I'm talking to lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to educators conference, I'm talking to educators.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to the dental meeting, I'm going to the dental meeting.
Mm-hmm.
But we are very rarely in the room together. So
Wow.
Selah means that the doctor, the lawyer, the dentist, we're all in the room together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can learn from you. You can learn from me. I need to know how you survive it. I
Yeah.
need to know how to get to my next best.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
I love that.
And what you know may help me where I go. So you were there last year in Atlanta when Pinky Cole, who
Yes.
happens to be the hottest entrepreneur on the planet right
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
now, with her vegan burgers,
Yes.
her
Uh-huh.
stores, her restaurant in
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta,
Slutty
her food
vegan.
trucks, and
Uh-huh.
all of that.
Uh-huh.
All of that. She asked, after she made her presentation, she says, "Are there entrepreneurs in the room, founders, and you need some advice? Stand up, tell me where you are, and I'll help you."
Mm-hmm.
And one of the persons that stood up was Yvette Williams,
I
who
remember.
was
I remember.
from
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, Texas. And
Mm-hmm.
she said, "I make tea cakes." And of
Mm-hmm.
course, Pinky says, "What's a tea cake?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she had to, those who are not in the South or wasn't raised in the South wouldn't necessarily know what a tea cake is. So she
Exactly.
explained what a tea cake was. And so Pinky says, if you develop a vegan version of a tea cake, and I like it, I'll sell it in my store. So I turned to Yvette. I said, "Millionaire." That's how you're in a room with somebody who can help you to your next
Yeah,
best.
exactly. Exactly. I was
And
there
so,
and I remember that
mhm.
moment and I left that conference on fire, by the way. Go ahead.
And then Selah, Dallas, which
Mm-hmm.
is in November,
Mm-hmm.
we invited Pinky Cole to come back and present to the ladies who were in the Southwest and the
Mm-hmm.
western part of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Yvette was there because she's from Dallas. And she had developed 3 versions of vegan versions of the tea cakes. It was like a ginger, walnut, a lemon, and something else.
Okay.
And Pinky's on stage. And so I said, "Remember when we were in Atlanta?" She said, "Yeah." "Remember Yvette?" "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah." She is here with her vegan versions of her tea cakes.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so Pinky says, "Let me taste it. Now make sure this is vegan because I'm, vegan top to bottom. Now don't give me something that's not vegan. It'll make me sick now. So make sure she's totally vegan." So she tasted the 3 varieties. And she says, "Can you have 300 tea cakes in Atlanta next week?"
Wow. Oh my
We all
goodness.
fell out. We fell out. We just fell out.
Oh
I
my
said,
God.
in Atlanta, when Pinky said that to Yvette and to the other women who stood to get advice, I said, "This is what Selah is about.
Oh my
Being
goodness.
able to get to your next best, see your next best, and be exposed to women who could help you there.
Yeah.
Show you things that you never seen." Now, Yvette is first lady of
Yeah.
the church. Her husband is the pastor
Mm-hmm.
of a
Mm-hmm.
church in Dallas, and
Mm-hmm.
she's the first lady. And this was her side hustle. If side
Uh-huh.
hustle,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
which our grandmothers taught us to have, by the way.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you may have your day job, but you did hair at night.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You had your day job, but you catered on the side. Come on now, that's
Exactly.
your
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
side
That's what we were
hustle.
taught to
So
do.
what Pinky was trying to say is to move your side hustle forward so it can be your main deal.
Mm,
You can still do your main deal,
I love that.
but you can move your side hustle to be your second act. So she presented, of course, she was in tears. She ran
Oh
to call her
wow.
husband. Said, "Baby,
Wow.
look what happened to me." By the time she cried, called home, told everybody everything was going to do. We're all celebrating fall now.
Uh-huh.
So Yvette says, "Okay, I got to go." I said, "Where you going, girl? The conference ain't over yet." And she says, "I got to start working on these tea cakes." I said, "No, no, no, no. What you're going to work on is your business plan.
Okay.
Now, come over here to this table. This is Deborah Elam,
Wow.
General Electric, vice president,
Oh my
corporate vice
goodness.
president, business owner herself. You're going to sit down right next to her, and she's going to talk to you about your next step.
Oh my
Then I'm going to
goodness.
take you over here because you're not going to deliver cookies until you deliver the invoice. And once
Wow.
the invoice is accepted and the payment plan agreed upon, then you will send the cookies. Now, and then you're going to go over to this table and see this one here, this one here. They will tell you about licensing.
Mm, mm,
You need to know about licensing
I
so
love
you
it.
can be sure that your name, you own this recipe. She don't own that
Wow.
recipe.
Wow.
You own that name. She don't
Wow.
own the name. You need to license this before you send it up, before somebody will take your recipe and your name.
Wow. Wow.
Now, here's the good news. We were all together last week in Houston, Texas for another kind of conference.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Yvette, how them cookies working out? She says, you be proud to know that these cookies are going out this week, all 300 of them.
Wow.
My business plan, my name, my
Oh,
license,
wow.
my
Oh, my
recipe,
goodness.
all of that is all hooked up. And them cookies are being shipped this week.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. Now, Bishop, that's less than a year from Selah, Atlanta last year, because I went last year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah,
less than a year, because last year when you came, it was in May.
right.
You did Selah Atlanta edition in May, and you
Right.
did Selah. You went back and did Texas again. I think around November or something, because I was in South
That it was in
Africa.
November, the week before Thanksgiving.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So you did that in November. So in less than a year, look. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness, what's happened in less than a year?
And we can look back at a lot of sailor women. They have upped their game.
Mm-hmm.
They have developed new products,
Mm-hmm.
new projects. All of them are not entrepreneurs,
Mm-hmm.
but they are pastors, and they didn't have websites,
Mm-hmm.
so they got their website and they got their social media game on. It's called branding.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's called
Exactly.
branding.
Exactly.
Um, Others decided that where they are is really good, but that's not where they want to spend the rest of
Exactly.
their lives, and they
Exactly.
want to level up to
Mm-hmm.
the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Others got their personal
Mm-hmm.
game together,
Mm-hmm.
got their self-care on.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Got their self-care on. And so, I mean, people say, what's Selah? Selah is a safe place for women to come and share their dreams, share their visions, to hear from experts. They get actionable goals. I can go home and do this.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
not that somebody's going to lecture to you and you take notes. No,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to hear stuff
Mm-hmm.
that I can. I need to do this, and I need to do this, and I
Exactly.
need to do this, and I
Exactly.
need to do this.
Okay.
And I love it when I go around and say, hey, and how you doing? Dr. Toni Alvarado, girl, I'm proud of you. Look at you. You're doing a podcast. I'm excited. You go, you go, you go.
And I want you to know
This is
that
fabulous.
I want you to know that the vision for this podcast came as I was sitting at Sayla last year. I want you to know that.
See?
Mm-hmm. When I was there.
That's why
And
we call it.
this is why it's important for us to invest in ourselves. You know, I meet a lot of women, Bishop. I invite a lot of women to go to conferences and things, and they don't want to spend the money or say it's too much or this, but if you don't make the investment in yourself through self-care, through going to conferences like Selah, putting yourself out there, you won't realize the vastness of what God has put inside of you. You have to invest. And I want to encourage every woman on this that's listening to this podcast to invest in your self-care, number one. But if you can be anywhere in Atlanta, what's the date, Bishop?
It is March 27th and 28th, and we're going to be at the Grand Hyatt Atlanta.
Okay.
It is 2 days. Friday evening,
Mm-hmm.
and then the majority of Saturday, and it is fabulous. Can I tell you who's coming?
Yes, please.
The Reverend Dr. Antoinette Alvarado.
That would be
It's gonna
me.
be with
Thank
us.
you.
That would be you.
Thank you, Bishop.
And then Janai Walker Macklin. Janai Walker Macklin has a fabulous story. You'll be able to hear it. She is a former WNBA star.
Okay.
So she's going to talk about being in non-traditional roles and how you survive.
Okay.
Carolyn Clark. Carolyn Clark is the vice president of Black Enterprise Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to talk to us about branding and marketing and those
Okay.
kinds of things.
Okay.
Candy Castleberry is vice president of diversity
Okay.
for Twitter. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, one of the few high-ranking African-American women who work at Twitter.
Oh my
Dr.
goodness.
Colleen Hawthorne. Everybody asks, who coaches the coaches? Well, she
Okay.
does.
Okay.
She is a coach's coach.
Okay.
She is a medical doctor. She's also a psychiatrist. And
Okay.
she's the one they call on to coach the high-powered athlete.
Okay.
When a Fortune 100 company CEO is having some issues, she's the one they call in and coaches them through whatever their issues are.
Okay.
But she's going to tell us how to do what we do without losing our mind, our soul, and our families.
Ah, I love it. I love it.
Cheryl Palute Williamson is an author, but she's also a movie producer.
Okay.
The Reverend Dr. Raquel Lepton out of New Jersey is gonna do our Selah Inspiration.
Okay.
And the Reverend Dr. Danielle Brown.
Oh, I love Danielle and Raquel.
She's gonna do our Selah Inspiration. So we got some preachers in the house, some corporate women in the house, some medical people in the house. It's gonna be awesome.
Bishop, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. I know how busy you are, and I appreciate you for allowing me this time to be a part of this podcast community and to encourage the women to be at Selah. And I'm just praying that every woman that's listening to this call will find a place of self-care, will learn these 4 Ds, and will be able to extend their lives and be able to be all that God has called them to be, because they did not burn out, because they took care of themselves. They showed up for themselves, as you have taught us on tonight. I love you, Bishop, and I'll be seeing you real soon. I'll be seeing you real soon.
Okay.
Okay?
Real soon.